Violence in Syria. I am joined by Professor Murhaf Jouejati, a specialist in Syrian affairs at George Washington University. Professor, thanks for your time. I got to tell you, will you make some heads or tails of the difficulty the UN Security Council is having in reaching an agreement on a presidential declaration, a resolution of condemnation on the violence in Syria? For our international viewers, what's taking so long? What are the divisions?
Well, the Assad regime seems to be digging its own grave in that it has made it easier now for the Security Council resolution to be unanimous in condemning its actions, the actions of the Assad regime. At first, of course, there was Russia and China who opposed any talk even of Syria. But the past 3 days, the assaults against the city of Hama and others by security forces, as you said at the top, by tanks against civilian neighborhoods, with a large number of casualties among the civilian population, are making it easier for Russia and China and others, including India, who also had opposed any condemnation of Syria, to now change their tone and to begin looking at this in view of condemning Syrian actions. So, although at first it was difficult for the Security Council, there were divisions, the Assad regime is unwittingly making it easier now.
You probably know where I'm going with the next question. Okay, so after all of the wrangling, going over the resolution, the statement line by line, the resolution is ultimately passed, then what?
A condemnation by the Security Council that is unanimous against a state, any given state, is a serious matter. And if things continue like this, then the Security Council can call on the International Criminal Court to indict the president of Syria and his folks for crimes against humanity. And this is a very serious affair. This, in fact, is increasingly isolating Syria internationally.
To be unleashing the tanks on your people on the eve of Ramadan, the attacks continue. What does it say about the level of desperation being displayed by the regime?
I believe the regime now is in panic. It is in a panic. It knows of no other ways than to use force. It talks reform, but it does not walk the walk. It hasn't done anything to reform. And the more violence that it is using, again, the more it is digging its own grave, not only internationally, but domestically. In Syria, we have those in the silent majority, who had been in the silent majority, who have been straddling the fence, who are now clearly opposed to the Assad regime. Bombing cities, even in normal times, even when it's not in Ramadan, bombing your own citizens is a very, very serious matter.
Professor, thank you for your time. Professor Murhaf Jouejati is a specialist in Syrian affairs at George Washington University. Thank you, sir.